Okay, the next to last penultimate episode of the first season, or only season, we don't know. I don't think the show is good enough to continue, but that's just an ordinary guy's opinion, but doesn't matter, we're already getting off track. Now, whatever I'm gonna say next, I really believe next week's finale has the potential to be something great. It has the potential to show us the family falling apart or something pretty dramatic like that. So it'll be interesting to see if they follow through on that potential, because I'm actually interested in next week's episode and mildly looking forward to it. That's new. But let's talk about this one first. Hi fellow Disney Plus watchers, this is Thoughts After a Disney Plus Watch, and I'm glad you're watching the channel that's all about Disney Plus movies and TV shows. So just fair warning here before we start, I do want to discuss spoilers to really do this episode justice, you know? So you can press that watch later button if you haven't seen it yet. Still here? Let's do this. This episode was surprisingly heartfelt and well done, I think, for Doogie Kamealoha M.D. standards, I have to say. Most of the dialogue is still overall pretty sucky, as we're all expecting at this point, but hey, I enjoyed the story and even the character work this week. So we follow Lahela and friends on this struggle to make it to Walter's birthday party, but Lahela is assigned to transcribe Dr. Lee's voice memos, so she struggles to make it in time, and so she asks her brothers Kai and Brian and her friend Stephanie to make sure Walter gets his birthday cake, and she wants it to be perfect. But of course something bad happens, the cake gets destroyed in the car, and it's up to the three to distract them as long as they can and make a new one on the fly, and I really enjoyed the stuff between Kai and Stephanie. These two are fireworks. These characters are actually well realized, it's obvious that they like each other, and the way they're giving each other little hints and get nervous around each other, especially Stephanie, is really enjoyable. It doesn't happen often that I burst out into laughter while watching this show. This isn't exactly a comedy series, more of a soft drama, and the humor is mostly pretty also because, again, bad writing, but Stephanie's reaction after being kissed on the mouth by Kai was priceless. I mean, absolute gold. She just wants to start talking and just bursts out some gibberish, and her reaction, oh man, I shouldn't say this, desperately looking for words, great piece of comedic acting. Oh, and I absolutely love the look Brian secretly gave Kai after Kai tied up Stephanie's apron. I don't know if you remember, but it screams, "I'm onto you, buddy." This kid does a really good job with the material he has been given, and this moment is just gold. I laughed pretty loud. Is it me, or did Walter finally show his true colors here, and I kinda love it? He started out as this bored teenager who took Lahela for granted, and here he finally acts and reacts out of care and makes Lahela call her father, essentially saving his life if we think more than 2 seconds about it. And the way he appreciated the cake he was given, you know, despite the whole thing being, you know, bad, he laughs and smiles and just is like, you know what, I'm happy with what I can get, and there's effort put into this, and he recognized that, and I kinda love it, he says. My absolute favorite thing about this episode is definitely Benny, his relationship with his CHORTS. Kidding. I'm talking about Benny and Uncle, don't know his name, but his uncle. What this whole relationship meant for the character of Benny was pretty sweet, and at first I was like, why are we spending time on the two of them talking about Benny's dad and the whole family history? We don't know this character, I don't know. I didn't really know why I should care. But after the man is taken into the hospital with bacterial endocarditis, and yes, I had to check that twice, the scene between him and Clara was actually one of the best scenes in the show, I think. For a moment, I was transported away from the wonky, safely written, staged, Disney-friendly show to a really good drama show for a second, if that makes sense. For a brief moment, Benny saw the last of his family legacy that is still connected to his father in danger of disappearing. His uncle was the last one who could tell stories about his father, and I loved what this meant for him. Even though his uncle was gonna make it in the end, he wasn't only worried for his life, but also worried for his last connection to his father. Now, why am I still so sour on this show overall? Well, it might sound a bit harsh, but really, the writing in this show is often so bad, and some of the dialogue still feels like it's written by someone who overslept on the day of the very first lesson of writing class. Okay, so in the opening scene of the episode, Lahela and Walter are wheedling and flirting and, you know, whatever, when Stephanie breaks in and says, "Ugh, we get it, you're a great couple, we get it." Whereafter, Lahela replies with, "Sorry, I'm in love with Walter." That's her reaction. Like, literally word for word. Like, what? Are you really explaining that to us again? Like, you didn't communicate that extensively in the past minute with all the flirting and stuff. I really hope that it's just Disney or some guy from the studio mandating lines like these to make sure that every single moron on planet Earth will understand what's going on, because it's just too much. It's just too much. I feel like I say this every week, and you're probably getting sick of it if you watch these reviews every week, but really, tell me if you disagree in the comment section, but I just like to see this show being so much better, and it has so much potential to be better. This episode proved that for me, because there was great stuff in it, but there's more to gain, you know? So in conclusion, this episode is definitely another step up. Loved Benny's family story and him realizing he was about to lose it all if the surgery didn't succeed. I really like Stephanie and Kai together, great humorous banter going on. I've said enough about the dialogue and the writing, but I just think this show can be so much better. And we're in for a possible impactful episode next week if the creators of the show fully embrace the drama that can ensue when Lahela gives up on her job and leaves the family to go with Walter to the Australian surf tour. I'm thinking about wrapping this up. Thank you so much for watching. I'm curious, what did you think of this episode? Be sure to let me know in the comment section. Don't forget, if you enjoy the idea of discussing Disney Plus content with us, that red button looks familiar, right? And if you're interested in thoughts on previous episodes, it's all in the description, or you can browse the channel page. Did you like this video? Then be sure to consider giving that a click. Thanks for now, have a wonderful day, and see ya!